Hello guys, welcome back. Hope you are doing good. Hope you guys are studying well, preparing well for your exams. Now in this video, I would be covering indirect tax amendments which are applicable for December 22 exams, guys. Clear? And for this, I have prepared a material as per my regular study material, whatever is the chapter numbers, as per the same sequence, I have prepared a material. So amendments also, I would be covering it chapter wise so that it becomes easy for you for referring it. Clear? And also whatever changes or amendments are there, I have also mentioned that in which chapter it is there and what is the page number, so that it becomes easy for you guys to refer to my regular study material. So whatever page number I have mentioned here, this is the page number as per my regular study material which is already shared with you guys. Clear? Yes. With this disclosure, let us start with the amendments one by one. So the first amendment is with respect to chapter 2, which talks about basics of goods and service tax. There come to the topic called, please have your study material also with you so that it helps you. So there the topic called meaning and scope of supply is there, which is in page number 9. There then one addition has happened. So there was section 7.1a. Now they have added one more 7.1aa. What is that? What it speaks about, we will see. Activities or transaction by a person other than an individual to its members or constituents or vice versa for cash, deferred payment or other valuable consideration is a supply. For example, now who is the supplier here is any person other than an individual. For example, if AOP or body of individual is giving any supply or is supplying anything to its members, then is it a supply, sir? Yes, it is a supply. And consideration should be there, and consideration can be in any form, but there should be a consideration. Agree? I repeat once again, the supplier should be whom? Any person other than the individual. It is like association of person, body of individuals or anything like that. They are giving supply to whom? To its own members or constituents. Okay. Plus there is a consideration. There is a consideration. That consideration can be immediate payment or deferred payment. Deferred payment means the payment will happen sometime in the future. So it will be a supply. So in that case, what happens? AOP and its members will be treated as two separate persons. They are not one another. They are not the same person. They will be treated as two separate persons. So there is a supply between these two now. Clear? Yes, sir. So this is an amendment, so which you guys have to make a note of it. And here in my material, whatever I have highlighted in red color is the changes, guys. All other things, whatever is in black, content which is in black, there is no change in that. Only whatever I have highlighted in red color is the amendment which you guys have to focus on. Fine? Yes. Sure. So the next change is with respect to schedule 2, which is there in page number 14. Come to schedule 2. There one deletion is there. One deletion is there. That is the last item, guys. The last item, supply by an unincorporated association. So here schedule 2 talks about whether the supply is supply of goods or services. This item has been removed completely from schedule 2, which is a good news for you guys. Clear? Yes. Two things we have covered. Next, with respect to composition scheme, come to composition scheme. There are two composition scheme, guys. What are those? One is available for the manufacturer of goods, trader of goods or restaurant services, which is given in section 10.1 and 10.2. Another one is available for the supplier of service other than restaurant service, which is given in section 10.2a. And this composition scheme is not available for few persons. Who are those? That list is already discussed, but now that list is extended to some other people. What is it? Yeah, this point you come to, that is the following persons cannot opt for composition scheme under section 10.1. So this is as per section 10.2. Okay, the change is like the following people cannot opt for composition scheme. Yes, sir. Now this E point is there, na? With respect to that E point, there is a change or additions, I can call it as. What is it? A person who is engaged in the manufacture of ice cream, pan masala, tobacco products and aerated water. This was there till now, which we already covered, but now some more additions has happened. What are those? Fly ash bricks or fly ash aggregate with 90% or more of fly ash content, fly ash blocks, bricks of fossil meals or similar siliceous earths, building bricks and earthen or roofing tiles. So these are the products which have been added now. That means if you are engaged in any of the manufacture of these products, from ice cream to tiles, if you are manufacturing any of these products, then you are not eligible for composition scheme. You are not eligible for composition scheme. Both 10(1) also is not available, 10(2)A also is not available. Clear? So there is a change with respect to that also in 10(2)A. Come to 10(2)A, that is the new composition scheme which is available for service suppliers. There in page number 23, conditions and restrictions is there. In that, sixth condition. So sixth condition will tell, if a person is engaged in the manufacture of ice cream, other edible oil, other edible oils, whether or not containing cocoa, pan masala, tobacco and manufactured tobacco substitutes, aerated water, fly ash bricks or fly ash aggregate with 90% or more fly ash content, fly ash blocks, bricks of fossil meals or similar siliceous earths, building bricks and earthen or roofing tiles. So if you are engaged in supply of any of these products, both the composition scheme is closed for you. Doors are closed for you under both the composition scheme, guys. Clear? Hope you have understood. So these are the changes which you can update these changes. Why I have actually mentioned here topic wise, chapter wise and also the page number and all. Few changes you can update in your study material itself. Okay, whatever I have highlighted in red color is a new addition which has happened now. So if possible, you guys can try to add it in your study material itself so that when you are studying, it becomes easy for you. Clear, guys? Yes, sir. So this change, this additions, whatever is there with respect to bricks, blocks and the tiles, it is with respect to both the composition scheme. If you are engaged in the manufacture of these products, then both the composition scheme are closed for you. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Sure. So this is all about the amendments with respect to that chapter. Now let us go to the next chapter where the amendments are there. I have taken only the chapter where amendments are there. You need not worry, sir. In between, if there is any chapter missing, it means in this material, if any particular chapter is not there, that means there is no amendment with respect to that chapter. For example, chapter 1, I have not included anything here. That means there is no amendment with respect to that. Yeah. So in this material, which I would be sharing with you guys also, whatever changes has happened is only covered, guys. Clear? And that too, what I have highlighted in red color. You have to focus more on that. Yeah. So next, coming to chapter 4, input tax credit and computation of GST liability. There, section 16. Come to section 16. Eligibility and conditions for taking input tax credit is given in section 16. So there are totally 4 subsections there. In subsection 2, there is one small additions what they have made. What is it? We will see. No registered person shall be entitled to take to the credit of any input tax in respect of any supply of goods or services or both to him unless. So unless all the conditions are satisfied, he cannot claim the credit. That is what the subsection 2 is telling. Yes. What are those conditions? Already ABCD was there. Now they have added newly AA. It is a new addition. What is it? We will see. I am straight away going to AA point. The details of invoice or debit note in respect of said supply has been furnished by the supplier in the statement of outward supply, that is either GSTR1 or invoice furnishing facility, and such details have been communicated to the recipient in the manner specified under section 37. So what are they trying to tell? Simple, guys. Now there is a supplier, there is a recipient. Who can claim input tax credit? Recipient. So recipient has to satisfy the condition given in section 16. So one of the condition is the recipient should have invoice. He should have invoice with him. He should have received the goods or services. Yes, sir. Then now whatever new thing they are telling, the supplier should have given the details. Whatever supply he has made to recipient, he would have given the details in his GSTR1. Supplier will file his GSTR1. In that, he will give the details of his outward supply. In that GSTR1, whatever supplier will file, he would have given the details which he has supplied the goods or services to the recipient. Or if supplier is following QRMP scheme, that is quarterly return monthly payment. In that case, he should have given the detail using invoice furnishing facility, anyone. Okay. So that means supplier, whatever supply he has given to the recipient, it is an outward supply to him. he should have given the details of that, and he would have uploaded the invoices in his GSTR1. Or if he is following QRMP scheme, then he would have given the detail using invoice furnishing facility. And once he has given that, automatically in GSTR2B of the recipient, it will auto reflect. Whatever credit the recipient is eligible to claim, it will auto reflect in GSTR2B of the recipient. Only then the recipient can claim credit. Only then recipient can claim credit. This is very much important because this is the new provision and also important now. Clear? So now what it means, sir, if supplier has supplied goods or services to the recipient, okay, and he has also given the invoice to the recipient. So recipient is having goods also, is having invoices also. Can he claim the credit? No. If supplier is not given the details of this outward supply in his GSTR1, this details will be given to whom? Obviously department or government. Returns will be filed with whom? Department or government. Yes, sir. So supplier should have given this data to the department while filing his GSTR1 or using invoice furnishing facility. Only then the recipient can claim credit. So it works like this. Recipient can claim the credit of whatever is reflecting in his GSTR2B. Only whatever credit is available in GSTR2B, he can claim only that. Now, what credit will be reflecting in GSTR2B of the recipient is whatever details is given by the supplier in his GSTR1 or invoice furnishing facility. So it will auto reflect in the GSTR2B of the recipient. Only then recipient will be able to claim the credit. Agreed? Yes, sir. Now, what happens? So listen to the scenario here. Now, supplier has supplied the goods to the recipient. He has issued the invoices and he has collected the payment to the from the recipient and he has deposited with the government. Okay. But when he is filing his GSTR1, he had missed to inform this supply. He has missed to upload this invoice in his GSTR1. Now the question is, can recipient claim the credit? No, he cannot claim the credit. Because supplier has not given the information about this supply in his GSTR1, he has not uploaded the invoice. So in that case, recipient cannot claim the credit as it will not be reflecting in his GSTR2B. Hope you guys got the clarity. And for the recipient to claim credit, all the conditions has to be satisfied. It's not like, okay, any one. It's all the conditions. Whatever conditions are given under section 16, all the conditions has to be satisfied. Clear? Yes. So I have also given a note here. ITC can now be taken only for those invoices or debit notes whose details are reflected in GSTR2B. So it will be auto reflected. If supplier has given the detail in his GSTR1 or invoice furnishing facility, automatically it will auto reflect in GSTR2B of the recipient. Why? Because the supplier would have used GST identification number of the recipient. Okay, so while giving the details, he would have mentioned, I have supplied the goods to so and so person. His GST identification number is so. Automatically, it will auto reflect in GSTR2B of the recipient. Okay, that is only when the respective suppliers, that is vendors, have filed the details of such invoices in their form GSTR1 or using invoice furnishing facility. GSTR1 is nothing but returns in which the supplier will give the details of his outward supply, for which the due date to file is 11th of next month. Okay, but what if the person is opting for QRMP scheme? He will file the returns quarterly but make the payment monthly. In that case, still he can give the details of his outward supply monthly using invoice furnishing facility so that the recipient can claim the credit immediately. So in that case only the recipient can claim credit. Fine. All other things remains the same, guys. And please keep one thing in your mind, because you can get an MCQ question on all this. That is, all the conditions has to be satisfied. It's not enough if only one or two is satisfied. For example, here totally 5 conditions are there under subsection 2. There are totally 5 conditions. That is A, B, C, D. All 5 has to be satisfied. All 5 has to be satisfied. Please be careful with it. Clear? Yes. And with respect to this change, even there is a change in rule 36(4). Come to this point. Yeah, let me read it. Restriction on availment of input tax credit in respect of invoices or debit notes not uploaded by the supplier in their GSTR1. So there was a new sub rule 4 in rule 36. So now there is a change in that. I violated here. Okay, so this things and all is not important for you now. So what is the change? I violated in red color now. What is it? Rule 36(4) of Central Goods and Service Tax Rule 2017 shall be substituted with effect from Jan 1st, 2022. So there is a new rule, same 36(4) only, but the provisions is substituted. Whatever was there before, that 5%, 10% thing was to be claimed with respect to not uploaded invoices. If there is any invoices which are not uploaded by the supplier, the recipient was eligible to claim 5% credit, but now even that is removed. Even that is been removed. So from when? 1st January 2022. To provide that input tax credit shall not be available to the registered person unless invoice or debit notes have been reflected in GSTR 2B of the said person. So with respect to this, what is the changes? So you guys can just make this scratches in the material itself. Where invoice or debit note has been uploaded by the supplier in his GSTR 1 or invoice furnishing facility. In that case, what happens? He can claim under full ITC provided he has satisfied other conditions. Okay. Now, sir, where invoice or debit note has not been uploaded, if the details is not given by the supplier, can the recipient claim the credit? No. Previously, before 1st January 2022, yes, recipient would have claimed only 5% credit. But now even that has been removed. That means with respect to the invoice which is not uploaded by the supplier in his GSTR 1 or using invoice furnishing facility, recipient cannot claim any credit, not even 1%. Clear? Yes, just a second. Yeah. So with respect to this, what will be the credit claimed? 0. That's all. He cannot claim any credit. But in the future, assuming after 3 months or 4 months, the supplier is giving the details of whatever supply he had made 3 months before in his GSTR 1, what he is filing later. In that case, can the recipient claim the credit? Yes. In the future, if the supplier is giving the details in his GSTR 1 or using invoice furnishing facility, recipient can claim the credit. Fine, guys? Yes. So with respect to this, we had also done 2 illustration. So what is the changes with respect to that? I will just go through illustration quickly. Mr. Vijay, a registered supplier, receives 100 invoices for inward supply of goods or services. So who is Vijay here? Recipient. Okay. Involving GST of 10 lakh. So totally he has received 100 invoices for which the credit available is 10 lakh from various suppliers during the month of October. Out of 100 invoices, 80 invoices involving GST of 6 lakh have been uploaded by the supplier. Can he claim the credit of this? Yes. Provided all other conditions are satisfied. Okay. Their respective GSTR 1 filed on the prescribed due date. Therefore, compute the ITC that can be claimed by Mr. Vijay in his GSTR 3B for the month of October to be filed by 20th November, that is GSTR 3B, assuming that GST of rupees 10 lakh is otherwise eligible for ITC. So 10 lakh is otherwise eligible, but out of 100 invoices, only 80 invoices have been uploaded by the suppliers. That means remaining 20 is not uploaded. With respect to that, the recipient cannot claim any credit. So for the month of October, what is the credit which the recipient can claim is only 6 lakh. He can claim only 6 lakh. And with respect to this 0.3, now it is 0. Previously it was 5%, but now they have removed that. It is 0 now. So with respect to 20 invoices which is not uploaded, 0 credit can be claimed by the recipient. Hope it is clear for you. Yeah. Then coming to illustration 2, and see, for filing when will the recipient can claim credit is while filing GSTR 3B, and for filing GSTR 3B there are different due dates, okay, depending upon the recipient, whether he is claiming, whether he is following QRMP scheme or regular scheme and all, and also depends on the states. But here I have taken standard date, that is 20th November. Yeah. Chalo. Coming to illustration 2 also, similar changes has happened. Mr. Ajay, a registered supplier, receives 100 invoices for an inward supply of goods or services involving GST of 10 lakh from various suppliers during the month of October. Out of 100 invoices, 85 invoices involving a GST of 9.7 lakh have been uploaded. Can I claim the full credit? Yes. Provided other conditions are satisfied, I can claim full 9.7. Okay. With respect to 85 invoices, whatever has been uploaded, the recipient can claim full credit. Sir, what about the remaining 15 invoices? What is the credit attributable for it? 30,000. Can recipient claim credit? No, sir. Recipient cannot claim credit. So for the month of October, the recipient will claim GSTR 3B, will claim the credit in his GSTR 3B, which he will file it in November. How much credit can he claim? With respect to 85 uploaded invoices, he can claim full 9.7 lakhs. With respect to 15 invoices which is not uploaded, he cannot claim any credit. That means total credit he can claim is only 9.7 lakh. Sir, what about the 15 invoices which is not uploaded? If it is uploaded by the supplier somewhere in, assume, December, January, February, if he is uploading that in the future months, then the recipient can claim it, because it will auto reflect to the recipient in GSTR 2B. Now, if you ask me how much credit will be auto reflecting to the recipient for the month of October, it is 9.7 lakh in his GSTR 2B. Clear? So now they have made more easy for you guys, students. From students' perspective, it is easy only. Why? Because this 5% thing and all is been removed. So only with respect to uploaded invoices, provided all other conditions are satisfied, the recipient can claim credit, guys. Fine. Hope everything is clear for you. Let me go to the next change. So the next change is with respect to chapter 5, which talks about the procedural compliance under GST. So here there are different topics covered. So the first amendment is with respect to registration. Come to the registration topic. Their threshold limit. Clear? So section 22, 23 and 24 talks about who should get registered or who should not get registered. Section 22 and 24 will tell who should get registered, whereas 23 will tell who should not get registered under GST. So as per section 22, what is the threshold limit for registration, guys? It is either 20 lakh or in case of special category states, it is 10 lakh. If the aggregate turnover based on India, that is PAN based, if it is more than 20 lakh, or in case of special category states, if it is more than 10 lakh, then the person has to get registered under GST. Yes, sir. But that 10 or 20 lakh limit has been extended to 40 lakh in case of exclusive supplier of goods. So the power is given in section 22 to the government to increase the limit if required. 20 lakh limit can be extended to 40 lakh anta. Using that power, the government has extended the limit. Agree na? So what is it? Threshold limit. Come to the page number 81 where these provisions are there. Threshold limit for registration for those engaged in exclusive supply of goods. Exclusive supply of goods means you are supplying only goods. It's not like goods plus services. Only goods. Okay. Enhanced to 40 lakhs. Wide notification number 10/2019. Except means in the following cases, 40 lakh limit is not applicable. In that case, it is either 10 lakh or 20 lakh. So what are the cases? Everything remains same except here. With respect to suppliers of, there is an addition. Okay, there was some additions in composition scheme na. Similar additions has taken place here. So what are those? Suppliers of ice cream and other edible ice, then pan masala, tobacco and manufactured tobacco substitutes, fly ash bricks or fly ash aggregate with 90% or more fly ash content, fly ash blocks, bricks of fossil meals or similar siliceous earth building bricks and earthen or roofing tiles. Same products, whatever was added in my composition scheme, same things are added here. Okay, so these are the new additions. Except this, all other things remain same. And like other persons are like persons who are taking voluntary registration, then the person who is supposed to take compulsory registration under section 24, or if you are a person who is engaged in the supply of goods in the following states. For you, the threshold limit of 40 lakh is not applicable. That means in the following cases, it is either 20 lakh or 10 lakh is the limit. Yeah, but if you are covered under section 24, for you limit is only not applicable. Please be careful because it is a compulsory registration. Whereas in all other cases, it will be either 10 lakh or 20 lakh is the threshold limit applicable. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Now, so threshold limit for registration for service providers would continue to be 20 lakh, and in case of special category states, it will be 10 lakh. So here this table will give you the clear picture which is already there for you. There is no change with respect to this. So if you are a supplier from this 4 special category state MMNT, then the threshold limit applicable for you is 10 lakh. If you are from this 6 states, okay, totally 10 states has been excluded here. As per arrow mark 1, 10 states have been excluded. So 4 is included here, remaining 6 is included here. So if you are a supplier of goods from this 6 states, what is the threshold limit applicable for you? 20 lakh. For remaining all other states and union territory, the threshold limit, if you are a supplier of goods, it is 40 lakh. Sir, what if I am a supplier of services? It is either 10 lakh or 20 lakh. Sir, what if I am supplying goods plus services? I am supplying both goods as well as services. In that case also, the threshold limit applicable for you is 10 or 20 only. 40 is not applicable for you. Clear? Yes. There is one more table after this. You need to update the changes here also. So threshold limit for the registration for the supplier of services. So if you are supplying services or you are supplying goods, but some special goods, what are those? Ice cream, edible oil, ice, pan masala, tobacco and manufactured tobacco substitutes, then the new products, whatever has been added. So whatever I have highlighted here in red color is the new things what is added. So if you are supplying this and if you are from the 4 special category states, then the threshold limit applicable for you is 10 lakhs, and in all other states and union territory it would be 20 lakhs. Hope it is clear for you guys. Clear? The change here is the only the additions of these products, whatever I have highlighted in red color. You can update accordingly. Is that clear? Yes. Yeah. Next. This is with respect to PAN, again registration only. So this is with respect to Aadhaar connections. That is page number 85. There you come to Aadhaar authentication. Aadhaar authentication. There is no changes or there is no amendment here. Actually, they have given more clarification through what? New rule 10b. They have added a new rule 10b, which I have included here. Let me just go through it. So see guys, just before some background we will go through. As per section 25(6)(a), what is first of all Aadhaar authentication? Aadhaar authentication is nothing but you linking your Aadhaar. You have to give your Aadhaar number while getting the registration. So there are two categories there. Sir, this provisions was not brought to effect from 1st July 2017. GST was brought into pictures from when? 1st July 2017. After 1 or 2 years, this Aadhaar authentication came into picture. So there will be two category of people. The persons who are taking the registrations newly, they cannot take the registration under GST without Aadhaar authentication. Okay. Now, what about the people who have already taken the registration under GST before this Aadhaar authentication comes into picture? So, for those people who have already taken the registration before this section 25(6)(a), 6b and all comes into picture, this was added later as I told you. So, those persons have to get their Aadhaar authenticated. Those who already registered before this provisions comes into picture. That is what is covered in section 25(6)(a). You can observe every registered person, means you are already registered, shall undergo authentication or furnish proof of possession of Aadhaar number in such form and manner and within such time as may be prescribed. That is what is explained now in rule 10b. Here in what form, in what manner it has to be authenticated was not given. It is now explained in new rule 10b. Okay, sir. Then they had also told here, provided that if Aadhaar number is not assigned to a registered person, sir, what if that person is not having Aadhaar? Such person shall be offered alternate and viable means of identification in such manner as government may on the recommendation of the council. This was the provision which was already there. No changes with respect to this. Okay, sir. And every existing registered dealer or registered person shall have to get himself verified with the help of Aadhaar number or by alternate viable means within specified time, or it shall be deemed as if it does not have any registration. Okay. Then coming to 6b and all, 6b told while taking registration, if you are applying for a fresh registration now, you have to get Aadhaar authentication. That is what 6b and 6c told. Yes, sir. Now the new rule. So this is completely a new rule for which you have to refer this amendment material only to study. So that is why I have completely highlighted it in red color. Yeah, what is it? We will see. Aadhaar authentication mandatory for existing registered person. Existing registered person means who has already obtained the registration. He has already obtained the registration, but he has not done Aadhaar authentication. So new rule 10b will explain about this. Lately, Aadhaar authentication has been made mandatory for the new registrants as well as for the existing registrants. With regard to existing registrants, section 25(6)(a) stipulates that every registered person shall undergo Aadhaar authentication or furnish proof of possession of Aadhaar number. This is what is given in section 25 subsection 6a. Yes. Now, as per rule 10b, what is given, we will see. The prescribed form, manner and time. So in the prescribed manner, this should be a continuation here. In the prescribed form, manner and time. So this is what was given in section 25(6)(a). New rule 10b prescribes the manner in which Aadhaar authentication needs to be done by a registered person. So what is it? A registered person who has been issued a certificate of registration under GST, that is, for him registration certificate is already been given and he has been allotted what? GST identification number. Okay. Shall undergo Aadhaar authentication number of whom? Because Aadhaar authentication, Aadhaar number will be allotted only for the individuals. So there can be a company, partnership firm, AOP, BOI, trust and all. In that case, whose Aadhaar authentication has to be done is given here. So in case of proprietor, that is in case of partnership firm, proprietor firm, the Aadhaar authentication has to be done for whom? Proprietor. Then in case of partnership firm, any partners. Okay. In case of HUF, any karta, so head of the family. Then with respect to company, managing director or any old-time director. So those people will be having Aadhaar because company will not have Aadhaar. Even in case of partnership firm will not have Aadhaar, but partners will have. Same way. Then any of the members of managing committee of association of person or body of individuals or society. So whoever is the face of the body of individuals or association of persons, their Aadhaar has to be authenticated. Then in case of trust, trustee in the board of trustees, he has to get his Aadhaar authentication on behalf of the trust. In order to be eligible for the following purposes, means, sir, why should I get my Aadhaar authentication? If you don't get your Aadhaar authentication, then the following things will not happen for you. What are those? For filing of application for revocation of cancellation of registration as per rule 23. So if your registration is cancelled now, and if you want to apply for revocation of your cancellation of registration, then without getting Aadhaar authentication, you cannot make an application. Okay. Next, for filing of refund application in form RFD01. Now, sir, I want to claim a excess refund, means whatever tax I have already paid or whatever taxes I have paid on my inward supply, I want to claim a refund of it. To claim a refund, you have to make an application in form GST RFD01. And if you are not done your Aadhaar authentication, you are not supposed to make any application. You are not eligible to make application for refund. Then the last one is for refund of IGST paid on goods exported out of India. So even if by chance if you have paid any IGST and if you want to claim a refund of it in case of export of goods, you cannot claim it if you are not done your Aadhaar authentication. So these are like a disadvantages for you. Please be careful. I'm expecting a question on this because if a person fails to do Aadhaar authentications, then what is the consequences they may ask you. So they may give all these three and they may give another option as all of the above. So your answer will be all of the above. So if a person fails to do the Aadhaar authentication, even after obtaining the registration, then he will not be eligible for any of these three. He cannot make an application for refund. Then he can also not make an application for revocation of cancellation, provided his registration has been cancelled. Clear, guys? Yes. Yeah, same thing, continuation. First proviso to section 25(6)(a) provides that if an Aadhaar number is not assigned to an existing registered person, such person shall be offered alternate and viable means of identification in the prescribed manner. Such manner has been prescribed by rule 10b now as follows. So here, this proviso specified, sir, if person is not having Aadhaar, then alternate ways should be provided for him. And what is that alternate way is given in rule 10b now. Clear? The manner is been given in rule 10b. So what is it? If Aadhaar number has not been assigned to a person required to undergo authentication of Aadhaar number, such person shall furnish the following identification documents, namely, what is it? His or her Aadhaar enrollment ID slip, that is, he has applied for it. As of now, he has not received it. So, whatever Aadhaar enrollment ID slip is there, a copy of that he has to give it. Then, it is bank passbook with photograph or voter identity card issued by Election Commission of India, that is voter ID, or passport or driving license. It is like you have to give A plus along with that any one of the documents which is given in point B. Any one of the documents given in point B. It is like that. If you don't have your Aadhaar number. Yeah, if you have your Aadhaar number, you have to give that only. It is not like substitute for it. However, once the Aadhaar number is allotted to such person, he shall undergo the authentication of Aadhaar number within a period of 30 days of allotment of Aadhaar number. So, if you don't have Aadhaar, temporarily give any of these documents. Okay. But is it a permanent solution? No. Once you receive your Aadhaar, immediately you have to inform it within 30 days of allotment of Aadhaar number. You have to authenticate it with GST department. Okay. So the aforesaid Rule 10B. Rule 10B shall not be applicable to a person who is notified under section 25(6)(d), that is to person exempt from Aadhaar authentication. So for the following people, Aadhaar authentication is not applicable. Agree na? So for them, even Rule 10B is also not applicable. Clear? So for the following people, Aadhaar authentication is not applicable, which we already covered in our regular class. For them, even Rule 10B is also not applicable. Is that clear? Yes. So Rule 10B is completely new. So please be careful with that. Yeah. Next change is with respect to topic tax invoices, debit and credit note in the same chapter. Come to e-invoicing there in page number 96. Yeah. Let me read. All registered person with an aggregate turnover based on PAN, that is all India based. Even though you might be having different registration, all registration put together, if you have an aggregate turnover in any preceding financial year from 17-18 onwards, greater than 100 crore, notified person will be required to issue e-invoices. They are supposed to issue invoices in the electronic form. Further, this 100 crore was reduced to 50 crore. From when? 1st April 2021. But now they have changed this. What is the change? With effect from 1st April 2022, please pay attention, this is also important. Such limit has been further reduced to 20 crore. Thus, e-invoicing has been made mandatory for all the registered business with an aggregate turnover in any preceding financial year, from 17-18 onwards, greater than 20 crore. So, what is the effect of this? So, this is what is effective now. And 50 crore, 100 crore limit is not at all applicable and you are not supposed to remember it. So from 1st April, what is the change? It is 20 crore. Sir, what is this? But the change, even though it is brought from 1st April 22, it is having retrospective effect. Please be very careful. Okay. From when did GST comes into picture? 1st July 2017. So first financial year is 17-18. Okay, sir. From 17-18 in any financial year, not in all financial year. In any financial year, if your aggregate turnover, that is PAN based, if it is more than 20 crore, that means you have to issue invoices. Means you have to issue invoices in electronic form and it is mandatory for you. It is not optional. It is mandatory for you. Clear? For example, assume now we are in financial year 22-23. We are in financial year 22-23. Sir, in 17-18, just a second. My aggregate turnover. Okay. 17-18, it was only 5 crore. Then 18-19, it was 10 crore. Then 19-20, it was 25 crore. Then 20-21, it came down to 18 crore. Then 21-22, it is assume 16 crore. Now the question is, sir, in 22-23, should I issue e-invoice? Yes, because from 1st April, what is the change they have brought? In any of the preceding financial year, if your aggregate turnover is more than 20 crore, is it? Yes. In financial year 19-20, your aggregate turnover was more than 20 crore. That means from 1st April 22, you have to issue e-invoice. E-invoice. Sir, what about, so for example, assume, sir, in 23-24, assume my turnover is less than 20 crore. Should I still issue e-invoice? Yes, it is must for you. So that means from 1st April. So stand on 1st April 22 and check all your past years. If in any financial year, if your aggregate turnover was more than 20 crore, then you will start issuing e-invoices. You will start issuing e-invoices. Hope it is clear for you. Okay. Then there can be one more situation. Listen here. Sir, I started my business in 2021, sir. Okay. 2021. So my aggregate turnover was only 2 crore. Okay. 21-22, it was 5 crore. Then in 22-23, it was 22 crore, sir. 22 crore. That means from financial year 23-24, you have to issue e-invoice. You have to issue e-invoice irrespective of what is your aggregate turnover in the financial year 23-24 or after that, you have to issue e-invoice. Because even in one of the year, if you have crossed 20 crore limit, then going forward, you have to issue e-invoice. Hope you guys understood. Clear? So the condition here is, if in any year, if the aggregate turnover is 20 crore. Clear? Previously, this limit was different, but now from 1st April, they have reduced it to 20 crore. Now, as of now, for your December 22 exams, what is the limit you have to keep in mind is 20 crore, not the previous limits. Clear? Yes, sir. And there was an exemption from e-invoicing, that is for the following people. E-invoicing is not applicable. They can still issue the invoice in manual form only. That is physical form. For that list, one more addition has happened, that is a government department and local authority. Previously, this was the provision, but now one more new addition is there, that is government department and local authority. Clear? So that means for all these people, including government department and local authority, even though if their turnover is more than 20 crore, for them e-invoicing is not mandatory. But they can follow it voluntarily, but e-invoicing is not mandatory for them. Clear? So there is a change in this exemption also, guys, from e-invoicing. Is that clear? Yes. Chalo. Next. There is a clarification in respect of applicability of dynamic QR code or QR response code. So what is it? We will see. So now we do Paytm or Phone Pay, Google Pay, everything now. So that is what like QR code. Now even it is supposed to be disclosed in the invoices. Not in all the cases. When is it? We will see. All B2C sub invoices. B2C sub invoices means recipient is unregistered, guys. Recipient is unregistered. For example, there is a supply from supplier to recipient. Supplier is registered. Supplier is registered, whereas recipient is not registered. This is what we call it as B2C supply. That is business to consumer supplies. Okay. So what is it? This is also a clarification given. So you guys have to study it from this amendment material only. What is it? We will see. All B2C invoices issued by a registered person. So the supplier is a registered person whose aggregate turnover in any preceding financial year from 17-18 onwards exceeds 500 crore are mandatorily required to have dynamic QR code from December 1st, 2020. So this provision was brought from December 2020, but clarification is given now. That is, sir, if registered supplier, so it is a registered supplier, if his aggregate turnover in any of the year is more than 500 crore, then with respect to whatever invoices he will issue to the recipient who is unregistered, in the invoice, there should be a QR code. So if he is issuing an invoice to the recipient, in that somewhere QR code should be there. QR code should be there. I repeat this, just a second. Now, first you check whether the supplier is registered. Okay, sir, registered. Just a second. There is. Yeah, here also same story. Yes. Now the supplier is registered. Okay, sir. And what is his aggregate turnover? In any of the financial year from 17-18, if his aggregate turnover is more than 500 crore, yes, the registered supplier is covered under this QR code provision. And any supplies he makes it to unregistered person. Any supply he makes it to unregistered person, he has to issue an invoice in which QR code is there. In which QR code is there. Clear? Yes, sir. Sir, what about the supplies which the registered person is making to the registered person, that is for B2B supply, QR code is not mandatory. For B2B supply, QR code is not mandatory. Clear? Yes. Resultantly, it has been notified that invoice issued by a registered person except specified class of person, some exceptions also are given. For few of them, QR code is not applicable. Okay. Whose aggregate turnover in a financial year exceeds 500 crore in respect of B2C supplies, that is supply of goods or services or both to an unregistered person, including a person having UIN. Now, the person who is having UIN means what? Unique identification number. So, is he called registered person under GST? No. The person who has obtained unique identification number is not called registered person under GST. He has obtained this UIN only for the purpose of claiming refund. Only for the purpose of claiming refund of whatever taxes he had paid. Okay. So that means the person who is having unique identification number is not called registered person. He is unregistered person under GST. Okay. Now assume if there is any supply from a registered person to a person who is having UIN, will it fall in the case of B2B supply or B2C supply? It will fall under B2C supply only. B2C supply. So even in that case, in the invoice, there should be a QR code mentioned by the supplier. Shall have dynamic QR code. Yes. Any person who has obtained unique identity number as per the provisions of section C, the person who is registered under GST, who is called registered person, will be getting GSTIN, that is GST identification number. The person who is getting UIN is not called registered person. Please be careful. This number is allotted only for the purpose of claiming refund. That's all. As per the provision of section 25 subsection 9 of CGST Act, is not a registered person as per the definition of registered person provided in section 294 of the CGST Act 2017. Therefore, any invoice issued to such person having a UIN, that is unique identity number, shall be considered as invoice issued for B2C supply and shall be required to comply with the requirement of dynamic QR code. Dynamic QR code. Hope it is clear for you. Fine. So this is all about the amendments with respect to indirect tax which is applicable for your exams, guys. Only few are there and few of them is with respect to deletions also, which is a good news for the students. So please make sure that you guys are thorough with all these things and go for the exams, guys. Do prepare well. All the best for your preparations as well as exams, guys. Do pass out with very good marks. Thank you.